Could you imagine what it would be like to be stranded on an island alone? That's what happens to Jenn. She's this black chick in the latest movie I watched on Netflix called Sweetheart. Greetings, I'm Fox Indigo, and I enjoy watching movies and TV series from the Black global diaspora and sharing them with you. And since we are friends, I am asking you to share this episode with at least 2 of your friends that need to watch something new. Or at least, need to expand their repertoire, right? And while you do that, we're just going to take a break and thank Anchor for being our sponsor. Greetings, I'm Fox Indigo, and you're listening to Fox on Flix with Friends. And I am your black movie critic. I love watching different genres of movies in the black diaspora and sharing them with you. And if this is your first time listening, then know that I usually have a guest with me when I do these podcasts, and sometimes it's just me alone. So if you're looking to expand your repertoire, explore, please follow this podcast and listen frequently for new recommendations. So this week's episode is a movie review. Last week I did a series review with a childhood friend named Miss Crystal. So if you would like to listen to that episode, it is available on the platform you're probably listening on, either Spotify, Anchor, or Apple. And this week's movie is Sweetheart, and it's streaming on Netflix. I know I've done a bunch of reviews on Netflix movies and series, but I swear to God, I am not sponsored by Netflix. They probably don't even know that I do this. But it's just one of those platforms that it's right there. And honestly, lately they've have a lot of stuff on there, and I started discovering, or maybe it's just because of what I'm watching, they're giving me a different variety of a lot of different black movies. So I'm like, hey, what the hell? So more about Sweetheart. It is written by Dillard, and I'm not sure if you know who he is, if you've seen the movie Slight. And I believe Slight came out maybe in 2017 or maybe 2018. I know I don't think it's more than 5 years old. But he is the writer of that movie, which is a sci-fi movie. And this movie, Sweetheart, is kind of like a sci-fi horror movie, and it stars Kiersey Clemons. I know she has been in a few other, I want to say, shows. I think she was in the movie Dope, if you haven't seen that movie. I believe she's one of the characters in Dope. So just a short little plot, because I really want you to go explore this, find this movie yourself, and tell me what you think. I want to know what you think if you haven't seen this movie and you go and watch it. So short plot, it's kind of like a mix between Castaway and Lost, except, it's a black woman. It's a black young lady, and not, a group of white people crashing in a plane with a sprinkled amount of colored people. And it's not just, Tom Hanks sitting on an island alone, but it is this young woman who washes up ashore, and we find out very quickly that she was in some type of wreck, and she is alone, or so she thinks. And that's really just the plot of it. What I do want to say about this movie that I liked was the majority of the movie is just the actress, Jenn. Jenn is the main character, and it's a lot of just following her around the island as she's exploring it, as she's finding new things, and you're just seeing, you're seeing what she's seeing. You're exploring along with her. And I actually enjoyed that because for once I got to see myself reflected as a main character and being the center of attention. And I wanted to explore and find out with her. I can say that this was kind of, for me, this was a movie that actually was talking to. And I know that there's this stereotype that Black people talk to the movies. And I want to say on some level that is true. So I did find myself actually talking to Jenn as she was exploring, while she was finding things as things were happening to her. So that's one of the main highlights. And then another thing about the movie was this juxtaposed message of a beautiful place, an island, actually being a dangerous and dark place. So, there is this idea, that during the day and there's sun out, she's stranded on an island, but it's a beautiful island. It's green, right? You have blue water. There are fish. There are things to eat. There are coconuts in the trees. So she isn't dying, right? It's just the loneliness. And so I liked that. I like the idea of being alone. And the more I think about it, I also think that the island stood for her and her character. So like I said, she, the majority of the time, is the only actor that you're going to see on the screen. But when you finally do see her interact with another character, it gives more substance to her. And now I'm thinking, okay, the island is a representation of her being alone and secluded. I like that. Yeah. I wonder if Mr. Dillard and his other two writing partners who helped write this screenplay, if that was something that was discussed, or if it, if it was intentional, excuse me. And a third thing that I liked was the use of the dark. So again, she's on an island. You have the daylight. It's beautiful. And then once things start to happen, the island is no longer this beautiful, safe place. Now at night, it's this dark, scary place. Where do you go on an island? Right? Like where do you go once you realize that you're in a scary place? So I like that as well. And I don't know, maybe if that was intentional. But I have a question. If you were stranded on an island, or if you were shipwrecked, or stranded on an island, shipwrecked, plane crash, and you just happen to find yourself alone, do you think that you would be able to survive? Because I watched, watching this movie, some of the things that were happening, and I started thinking, could I survive if I were alone on an island? Do I think I have the wherewithal to know how to start a fire, to be able to fish by spear? Do I know how to get a coconut and crack it open? Will I know how to figure that out? Especially if I'm washed up ashore with very little and limited resources. And while you think about that, let's just take a break, because I want to give acknowledgement to our second sponsor, which is Spellbound. It's an herbal company that makes elixirs and natural smoke blends. So you think about what you would do if you were on an island. Do you think you could survive? While we just listen to this quick sponsorship. Have you kept up with your herbal health? Strengthen your body's immune system and natural functions with Spellbound herbals. Created in small batches, each herbal elixir is made from organic non-GMO plants and roots, organic honey harvested from New York State bees, and sealed in bamboo-covered glass to preserve freshness. Crafted to promote the specific needs of men and women, just a few drops in a glass of juice or water makes a world of difference to your natural health. For more details, visit the Spellbound Apothecary online at spellboundtoday.com and place your order. Also, for smokers searching for a natural alternative to tobacco, check out their herbal smoke blends, crafted from delicious flowers and plants that stimulate the mind, relax the body, and set the mood. Try enhancing your favorite bud strand with a few sprinkles of Third Eye Magic or Love Me Long Time. Available again at spellboundtoday.com. So that was our second sponsor, spellboundtoday.com, for your herbal needs. And we are talking about the movie Sweetheart on Netflix. And thank you for listening to my episode today. And again, don't forget to share this episode with someone who may be into sci-fi horror and wants to watch something slightly different than what you're seeing on mainstream television or movie theaters, the movie theaters that are open, right? So, Sweetheart, like I was saying, there were things that I really liked about the movie that I think that should be highlighted. The fact that you have this actress who is the majority of the time just by herself and doing a pretty damn good job at keeping you interested. What else I liked about this character is she had a calm, accepting demeanor to survive. And I don't know if I may be that calm if I was stranded on an island. I am actually a very patient and level-headed individual, and I don't get worked up very easily, but I am emotional. So I'm not sure if the being stranded on the island would spark some type of emotional, physical reaction in me where I'm throwing myself, I'm stuck on an island, or if I would remain the individual that I am normally, which is honestly, a building could be on fire and I would be very calm, level-headed. I know that I need to grab this and move in this direction. I don't know. I don't get worked up easily. I don't get flustered easily. And yeah, I don't know. But her demeanor, the character's demeanor, Jenn, she was very calm, very accepting of the situation once she realized she was on the island. And I also liked the clues that you start finding along with her while she's on the island. Kind of like, she was an archaeologist, so she was finding like all these artifacts. That's how I saw it. She's new, she's exploring her new environment, and she's finding all these things, and she's making use of certain things, and she's maybe pondering a little about some of the things that she found. Now, some of the things I thought that I could have done without, or maybe could have been done better, is that also the same thing that I liked about it. Like, I liked her exploring her new surroundings, and I liked that she found quote unquote artifacts. But then at the same time, it was like some of the things that she was finding was just like, okay, that's way too convenient. Like, okay, she's stuck on an island by herself. Oh, and she finds this. And that's just happens to be the thing that like she really needs. Like, it's the number one thing. Okay, so she just, all right, okay, fine. All right. Oh, this shows up. Oh, okay. Oh, okay. So now Jenn, she is in now this situation, and oh, okay, because this is what happens when you're stranded on an island. Things just all of a sudden they're either just appear or they're already there. Okay, I'll go along with the rules of your universe. And And then another thing, I thought it kind of had weak dialogue, the dialogue that it did have. I don't know if it really gave more context to the story. You learn more about the Jenn, you learn more about her, but some of the other stuff kind of just left question mark. And I felt like, I don't know if I really needed that. I don't know if this particular situation needed to happen to move the story forward. And that's kind of like what it felt like for me. Some of the dialogue was just very weak. It was a very open-ended, and I just felt like the writers didn't really know where to take. They knew where they wanted the story to go, but they just didn't know how to get there. So they just kind of just filled it up with stuff. And yeah, the stuff worked, but I don't know if I don't think it was strong enough. That's just my opinion. And then it made the characters that were unclear. So again, she's finding all these clues. You're learning stuff about Jenn. You're learning like who she is, where she came from, as she's discovering more things and she's finding more things. And then when she does interact with another character, even the dialogue and who the character is very unclear until like maybe way down the line. And I'm like, oh, I would have never have guessed that. That really wasn't made clear. And again, I don't know if it was even important to have it, though there was part of the dialogue that I do feel that the writers were trying to say something about maybe the relationship between how the world sees Black women. And so maybe that should be another reason why you need to share this episode with other Black women, because I felt that there was this dialogue where it was kind of saying like the Black woman has issues, or she is portrayed as someone who has issues or untrustworthy and needs to be restrained, but is one who's resilient. So there is this underlying message, and I would love to hear anybody else's review and comments to this movie if you've actually watched it. There are these underlying messages that I think could have been better perceived or better, but the dialogue was too weak. And yeah, the plot was just, being pushed. If you haven't already, please follow, join the Fox Den. I want to hear your comments. Please leave a message, leave a comment, or you can leave actually a voicemail of your review, and I would love to hear them and also share them with the audience as well. So leave your name, tell me what your review is, and where you're from. Would I watch Sweetheart again? I thought the movie did pay off. I think there is a payoff to the movie. I don't think this is one of those movies where I'm just kind of like, oh, that's the ending. I actually thought like, oh, okay, I think I want to ride out a little bit more with Jenn. So that's worth it. So yeah, I guess I would watch this movie again on like a snowy day, since it's cold here in New York. It's winter. So maybe on one of those, if we ever get like a blizzard, I would sit indoors and pop some popcorn. And I think I would actually watch the movie again and, try to watch it with fresh, brand new eyes. And because there's this underlying message, because it's a Black writer, because the main character is a Black woman, I give the movie 4 Black Fists. It's a unique storyline. And again, this is a sci-fi horror, and I just gave you a general plot. Lost mixed with Castaway. And that's all I want to give you. Very unique story. J.D. Dillard did do a very good job. He writes really unique movies. Again, he did Slate, and maybe I'll do a review on that. I've watched actually Slate 3 times because I did enjoy that. So maybe I'll do that. And share that review with you. Well, thank you, friend. That's actually the end of this episode and the end of this review. And please, again, share and follow. I would love to hear your reviews, your comments. If you have any film recommendations, again, I do review Black movies and television shows globally. I will be doing a review soon on a series, which is also on Netflix. And we're going to take it to Brazil. I do have a few Brazilian listeners, and I don't know if this is a big show in Brazil, but I am excited to watch it because I'm familiar with one of the actors in there because I, years ago, there was this wonderful movie called City of God. And if you haven't watched that movie, you definitely should. And I saw that one of the main characters was the actor from the movie. And I was like, oh my God, I need to watch this. And apparently there are 2 seasons and the show is called Brotherhood. So continue to listen to this podcast. If you subscribe, you'll get the notifications when I upload. I am here twice a week with a series review and a movie review. And if you haven't listened to last week's review, I reviewed with my childhood friend, Miss Crystal. We reviewed Star's P-Valley. So go ahead and listen to that review. And also coming up, I'll be doing a recap of The Chi, which is a big show here in the States. Well, that's all for now, friend. I really appreciate you giving me your time. But until then, love, kisses, and hugs. That's a wrap.